Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's 88 plus for sure.
Nice. What do you think, Marcy?
88 is a magic number to me, actually.
I was going to say that.
Were you going to say
I was going to say that.
But you know that 88 is a magic number?
I know that it's a magic number to you, but 8 is also my favorite number.
Oh. Plus 8 plus 8 is 16, and then 6 plus 1 is 7, which is another magic number. So, I don't know. That doesn't make any sense.
I was 6.
I thought 3 was a magic number.
It makes... It's 3 and 7. It's they're fairy tale magic numbers, and this wine is like a fairy tale. So this is it's just,
what fairy tale is this wine?
What if this wine
were a fairy tale?
I know it. If this wine were a fairy tale,
That's awesome.
This wine would be Hansel and Gretel.
Oh, really?
Yes, because
Yes. This is why we did this show.
because of the burnt taste. The witch has an oven, and immediately I think of there's a slight danger to it, but it ends up just as the children will it. I'm sure it's not such a happy ending for the witch. Plus, when I think of Salem, even though this is Salem, Oregon, I do think of the other Salem over on the East Coast, and maybe that's just influencing what fairy tale I came up with. Actually, is the fact. But plus, actually, the balanced fruit at the top. There's this sense of sweetness. It's what draws the children in at the top.
Oh, like the gingerbread.
Awesome.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And it ends up with the burnt taste, which is the oven.
Wow. You know, I was going to say, what it made me think of was, okay, which is the fairy tale where the mother is pregnant and she's craving radishes? And
That is Rapunzel.
Okay, so Rapunzel. So the mother is, at the beginning of the story, this woman, peasant woman, is pregnant, she's craving radishes, all she wants.
But is that the original story, or is that just the Shelley Duvall fairy tale theater version?
No,
That
I
she's
think
craving
radishes. Well, I don't know. Well, the version that I know in my head, whether it's become an evolved fairy tale or not, is that this woman wants radishes by God, and her husband says, yes, I will get you radishes, because he's a kind and thoughtful man, and so he ventures out to collect radishes, and
You're fine?
it turns out that the radishes become a trap. Because the radishes are stolen, but it turns out the radishes collecting are from the garden of a witch, and so
Every time.
and so she says, okay, you can have these radishes, but then I get to come collect your child. And I think he's kind of like, oh, whatever, lady, you're crazy. I mean, not exactly like that, but, you know, sort of like that. So he kind of promises, but
promises in fairy tales must be kept.
Promises are serious business.
Serious business. Promises, serious business.
Internet.
Yeah.
Or there are dire
Fairy tale
consequences. Right?
Yep, and so then, as a result, of course, so she's thrilled to have the radishes. When she has a baby, then the witch comes to collect the baby, and then that's the woman in the tower and the hair and all that jazz. The point of this fairy tale story is that all this woman wants right now are radishes. And that's how I feel about this wine.
That you want the wine, all you want is the wine.
Wow. Nice.
Well, there's also there's a mama witch in that, and once again, I'm drawn to the location.
Salem, yes, witches, Salem.
Awesome.
Although yes, I know, I don't mean to denigrate Salem, Oregon at all. It's just simply the reference and the association.
Yeah.
It's the capital. Witchcraft happens there too.
And based on, so I've had the Lagree Blue, which is another bottling of their 08 Pinots, kick ass for 2008. Purchased some of the Le Puy Sec. It's out now. You should check it out. And the Cuvée J is, I haven't seen it yet, but I'll be purchasing some.
It's out there. I know it's out there.
Is it? Is it out already?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's good stuff.
This guy's wines are amazing, so check them out. Anyway.
Moving on. Wine number 3. Patricia Green Cellars, 2008 Pinot Noir Reserve, Willamette Valley. What was the price on this again?
$13.
Little tiny rinse there. Make sure we even everything out.
So this is the absolute, I think, the lowest that they produce, which is kind of funny because it's called the Reserve.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think Patricia Green does like second labels for the rest of their stuff.
Oh,
right?
sure, for the lower stuff. Okay.
I think, but
yeah, I don't know what they are.
But really,
Let us know. You guys know.
The estate's more expensive, and then it's just single vineyards after that, which are far more expensive.
It's pretty cool stuff. Yeah.
You know what's really interesting to me as a non-native to this area and a visitor to this area is that all of us in the Midwest can't figure out how to pronounce Willamette. We look on the map and we say Willamette, so I'm so sorry, Oregon, but I figured it out, I've learned.
I still want to say Willamette.
Or Oregon.
Willamette, damn it.
Or Oregon! The
Oregon.
Oregon Trail! Oh my, it's terrible. I'm learning though, and I'm very excited.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
And you learn, like, right, you spend time, you get accustomed to the pronunciation of the area.
It's true.
Okay, so let's check out this. This is Patricia Green Cellars, 2008. Reserve.
Whoa.
Cats. Whoa.
I'm going to let you two go with the nose. We're not going to say anything. Both of you talk about what you smell.
Tuna fish!
All right.
I got tuna fish immediately.
Oh, there is some really interesting funk happening here. It's like algae,
Yeah.
but not like offensive algae. It's like
Nice.
it's like being at there's water creatures happening.
Yeah.
I'm totally, I'd like the little bit of marsh in the forest.
Yes,
This is
yes.
back toward the Midwest, like northern Minnesota, like the pine forest. We got
Country
all
waters.
the lowlands and the stagnant
Like-
water that's been sitting there for a while.
Yeah.
Speaking
Yes.
of, harkening back to the episode 62 with wine and art, this makes me think of Tom Utek.
Whoa.
That's exactly.
Alex is a Boundary Waters artist.
We can show some of that, some of his work.
right.
Sure, I'll cut that in.
Beautiful,
I'll cut
beautiful
that
stuff. Bright sky, air, but they've got the age of the place, the rocks, the water, like you're talking about, kind of the stagnant water, the algae accumulating in the corners of the lakes, and deep, dark places where you can get lost very easily.
Nice.
So for me, it was one of the last times we did a tasting at Willamette Valley Wine Storage was we had a salmon pate.
Yeah,
It smells exactly like salmon pate,
Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
like salmon pate on crackers. Sort of what I
And
said.
as I'm coming back to it, I'm getting like in the background just like a light scent of honey too, like there's a little bit of honey underlying everything.
Okay. Honey drizzle on your smoked salmon.
Smoked steak.
Smoked steak.
Like your smoked steak.
Smoked steak. Little honey drizzled on your smoked salmon.
That's the name of my steampunk band.
Smoked steak.
Smoked steak. Smoked steak.
Or my
Let's
rock
taste
band.
this wine.
It could
Let's
be
just
my
drink
rock
it. Come
Let's
on.
drink it. Yes, drink it.
Kind of that, some of that funk definitely carries on to the palate.
Yeah.
And again, like that darkness and the structure is kind of there. It's kind of an abstract feeling because the fruit seems to be in the background, but in the background of what is kind of difficult for me to describe.
Abstract.
And how would you even
Another
describe
art
this? Where
term.
it's like underripe cherries or underripe raspberries. Like I'm not getting any sort of ripeness to this wine at all. It's
You're
like
waiting for it.
a little bit of greenness, a little bit of,
A little bit of green, some nice cherry fruit,
but still nice. Like not in the bad sense, right? Like it's
and the full acidity that's like hitting in the top of my mouth, not so much like racing along the sides like a lot of it does, but some acidity hitting the top of the mouth. It kind of ties in with that green note.
I'm getting up the center of my tongue the same taste and aftertaste that I get with getting grapefruit rind.
Sure.
Yeah, a little bit of that zing.
Yeah.
A little bitter, but.
Yeah, bitter.
but
Is that
not
with an
like
I or an A?
overwhelming. Bitter?
No. Zing.
Zing.
Or zang.
Zing. Zing.
Zang.
Both. Z-A-I-N-G.
It's got some
Zang.
zang.
It's got some zang. Zing. Zing.
definitely does have a little zang though.
But yeah, the
The
fruit
citrus-
doesn't sit on the palate much, and it
I can
dries
see
out
citrus.
pretty
I can see
quickly.
citrus rind as
Yeah,
a
yeah.
good descriptor actually for the way the fruit is sort of playing on this. It's very strange. That said, it's all well put together, and that's why we like have a hard time breaking out of this scale of 85 to 90,
Right.
because these are
It's
well
not
put together
bad
wines.
wine.
No,
It's
it's
a
not
story.
bad wine.
Well put together.
Nothing
Yeah.
turns me off. Nothing turns me off. In
Right.
this case, there's even less excitement. The fruit's shorter than I like to see it. The funk,
Good point.
while I like that sometimes in this specific case, isn't the kind of funk that does it for me. So, you know, good stuff, well balanced, but not a whole lot of interest. I'm gonna go 85 points. Not really feeling it. Still solid. I wouldn't be disappointed. You know, I'm sure I'm gonna drink the rest of this and enjoy it entirely. But I prefer the other two.
You're gonna want some smoked salmon with that.
I always prefer some
Thanks,
smoked salmon.
sprinkled on top.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 85 plus with it. I think that if you sit on this, will it come together? I think it will. I think if you sit on this for a little while longer, maybe it'll mellow out a bit. The sad thing part is that the acidity is super strong in this, but the tannins are like not even present. Like there's not much for that. But I have hopes for it because I like the underripeness.
I can see it aging. It could come together in another
Right.
6 months to a year. It could become something totally different.
But I'm totally smashing on his style, 85 plus for this.
Cool.
It's like writing a novel. It is National Novel Writing. What is it?
National
Novel
Novel Writing Month. Yeah.
Get a lot out
whole
there, and
month.
then you gotta let it
Yeah.
sit for a while, percolate on it, work on it, improve it. So what fairy tale is this one, Marcy?
What fairy tale is this one?
Fairy tale pairing.
Yes. Very fairy.
Fairy parents.
Well, with all the references to
We'll do a replay show
seafood,
about
because tuna was the first thing I
That'd be
saw.
the
Oh
best.
yeah, I'm hands down. I'm all for that. There's the Mythic Imagination Institute and the Pacific Institute who have whole degrees in folklore and mythic studies. I would say maybe The Little Mermaid. And this is why, because of the funk of the sea, the brine of the sea is in this. The brine and the rind. It feels like it's there for me, but the thing that
Nose on this is crazy.
the thing that I really felt about this particular wine was that it vanished for me at the end. And if you have not been Disney-fied, although I have all respect for Walt and his legacy, the end of the story in The Little Mermaid is that she is given the task to be able to become a mermaid again and to return to her family. She is given the task to kill the prince and his fiancé. And she can't do it, she can't do that terrible deed, so she flings the knife into the sea and dives into the sea, becomes sea foam, but then rises as a daughter of the air with the hope that one day, if she is prayed for, that she will end up, and if she takes care of children as sort of a guardian angel, even though she's not that,
Whoa.
that one day she will be able to gain a soul and enter heaven. So she's this invisible creature at the end, she just kind of vanishes away. So this strong C note at the top that then sort of diminishes into invisibility is something that is really exciting to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Thanks.
Or she could have just killed them and taken over the kingdom herself and lived happily ever after.
That's
What do you think?
saying.
Closing notes. What do you think of the wine?
I stab.
Curl up with some really tasty seaweed and in a giant clamshell, snuggle in a pile of pearls and drink this wine.
Yeah.
Nice. Well,
We're all for it.
there are our 3 Oregon wines.
Drink them at the coast.
Yeah, well, apparently, or at least drink the Patricia Green at the coast. Hopefully we'll have a chance to do that before too long. We're really due for a crabbing trip.
We
at some
are.
point. But we have our guest. Ask the question of the day. Seisha asked the one for episode 62. Marcy, what would you like to ask our audience?
I'm on the spot.
Yeah, you are.
What, to you, because we've talked a lot about wine being, actually, Chaz, you talked about this earlier, with wine being a specific part and a very important part now of a meal as opposed to being something that's just the beverage or what's added.
Right.
As important as it is, what memory would you like to share about a time when wine was not the beverage and it was not what happened to be there, but it was an integral part of an amazing memory that you have? I'd love to hear those.
Awesome. And we know you have them.
Wow.
If you're watching this, you care about
That's a tough
wine,
one.
you enjoy wine, you've probably had an awesome experience with wine. We'd love to hear about it.
Multiple, hopefully.
Join the conversation, show some respect to the people who have been generous enough to join us as guests on our show. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being generous enough to share your time.
Thanks for watching.
See you
Bye,
soon.
Internet.